Good morning and welcome to another Menu Monday. For returning subscribers, welcome back. For new subscribers, thank you for joining. We've had a lot of new ones recently. We love having you join us on our channel. And for anyone, this is the first video you've watched. My husband and I live in an RV and I do cooking every Monday for motivation. So this week I have a lot more recipes for you, and without further ado, let's get cooking. So tonight, to go with dinner, we're going to make a bean salad. First thing I do is drain, rinse the kidney beans and the pinto beans and get them in the bowl. Now I'm going to add some pico de gallo. Now you can also use salsa. I started out with about 3/4 of a cup, which is what the recipe called for. I ended up putting the whole cup in there. I'm going to add some chopped cilantro, or cilantro, however you pronounce it. And it called for red wine vinegar. I didn't have red wine vinegar. I had rice wine vinegar, so I used that. But I will have the red wine vinegar in the ingredients at the end. And then 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Now I'm going to dice up this green pepper. You want about a cup, which is about 1 pepper, average size. And then 1 red onion, thinly sliced. I only used half. It seemed to go a long way. And if I'm going to do this again, which I will, I'm going to cut this onion in half again so that the slices are smaller. Okay, that's where I put the rest of the salsa in. And then it still needed something, so I used some salad dressing. I believe it was like a balsamic vinaigrette, but any sort of Italian salad dressing, it just needed a little something, and that seemed to take care of that. But taste test and put in what you like to make it taste the way you want it. Then you cover that up and you're going to put that in the refrigerator for 2 hours to cool. Now I was going to cook some chicken with this, but my father-in-law made some steaks, which were absolutely delicious, and along with that a regular salad that he had put together, and about a half a sweet potato, because although sweet potatoes are lower in carbs, they do still have them, so we just had like half. And that was dinner tonight, and here is your ingredients for the salad. So since I didn't get to cook the chicken the night before, I had 2 chicken breasts left over. So what I did is I took the first chicken breast and I cut it in half to make thinner ones. I rolled them or coated them in some Duke's mayonnaise, and then I crushed up some pork skins to use as the breading. I just put them in a sandwich bag and put them under a rolling pin. This is the ones I used, no carbs in these. I put the pork skins on a plate, and then after the breast was coated, I rolled it around in the pork skins, and I cooked these in the air fryer, I want to say for 20 minutes, but until they reached 165 degrees. And I did spray them with oil. That way they would crisp up. I did the oil on the top and the bottom. Sorry, that was my ice maker. And I made this chicken just to have, like, maybe on a night that I hadn't planned a dinner, so we could have the air fried chicken with a side of veg, or the other chicken that I made coming up on a salad. Alright, now I'm going to plop these in the air fryer, 400, I want to say 20 minutes. And now for the other breast, I cut that into cubes. I put it in the pan, added some olive oil, and then I wanted to make these sort of Chinese blends, so I used the Chinese 5-spice and added some sesame seed oil and some soy sauce. These don't take long to cook in the pan. I want to say 10 minutes at most. You just want to get them to temperature. Alright, and once they were done, I put them on a plate and let them cool before storing them in Tupperware in the refrigerator. And then I took out our other breasts that I had divided in half. Turned out really well, crisped up nicely. And I let these cool also, and now they're in the refrigerator for when we want something to eat. And there we go. So now we got the chicken done that we had left over from last night. Tonight's dinner is going to be spaghetti squash with meatballs. I'm going to scoop out the seeds and ribbing of each side of the squash. I did cut it in half first. You're going to need a really sharp knife for that. Then we are going to drizzle the squash with some olive oil, which I used to spray, and then sprinkle each side with salt and pepper. You're going to place the squash cut side down on the baking sheet, and then use a fork to poke holes. You're going to roast this for 30 to 40 minutes until it's lightly browned on the outside, fork tender, but still a little firm. Mine took 31 in the Emeril Lagasse air fryer oven on bake. But the time will vary depending on the size of your squash and your oven. After the squash has cooled, you're going to shred each side into spaghetti using your fork. I put this back in the oven and kept it on keep warm while I made the sauce and meatballs. And I had some frozen meatballs that I put in the pan. Low carb, of course. And then added a low carb spaghetti sauce. I had half a jar left, so I added that and then a full jar. So 1.5 jars on mine. And I did add a little water to get the remainder that was left in the jar. I let this cook on medium for about 25 minutes or until the meatballs were cooked through. And then I dished up. I like to put butter on the noodles. Big Daddy didn't. And then you just top it with your meatballs and sauce and a little Parmesan cheese. Here's the finished plate and your ingredients. Tonight we're doing a shrimp casserole. It calls for rice, which we cannot have, so I'm going to do a turnip root. I'm going to cut and peel this, well, peel it rather, and cut it into cubes. I did try to put it in the bullet, didn't work out, so they did stay as cubes in the recipe and really tasted like potato, which was very cool. So I'm just going to chop these up and then we'll move on from there. Now I added the shrimp, which is about 1 pound peeled, deveined, uncooked frozen shrimp. I added the cheddar cheese, mushroom soup, and then Worcestershire sauce, some pepper, a 1/4 cup of milk, and some dry mustard. The exact ingredients will be at the end of the video. Now, being that the shrimp was frozen, it was hard to stir, so I went ahead and put it in the casserole dish and got that in the oven, and I stirred it about halfway through the cooking time, and that way it made it easier to combine the ingredients. If you're using fresh shrimp, obviously you wouldn't have that issue. We're going to cook this, I believe it was 375 for about 45 minutes. I will have the directions down below in the description box. When it came out, mine was a little runny, being that it was frozen shrimp, so I did drain some of the sauce off and then added the frozen vegetables. It still needs a little something something, so I added some Creole seasoning and that finished it off nicely. Here's the plate. And here are your ingredients. Tonight we're going to do some chicken burrito bowls in the Instant Pot. First thing we do is combine all the ingredients. That is 3 frozen chicken breasts. I had 5. 1/2 cup uncooked brown rice, which I did not use because we're low carb. I have a 1/2 can black beans, 1 can diced tomatoes, 2 tablespoons minced garlic, 2 tablespoons cumin, 1 tablespoon onion powder, 2 tablespoons chili powder, 1.5 cups chicken broth, and then we got that ready. Set it for 25 minutes. After that, we shredded the chicken, put it back in the pot, and then Big Daddy and I used lettuce in our bowl and topped it with some salsa and sour cream. Think of the chicken and rice.
Good.
Okay, let's eat up.
Okay.
Abel split a piece of chicken, had some rice, and put butter and beans on his. Uh-oh. What do you think?
Good.
Thumbs up? 1 or 2 thumbs up?
1 or 2 thumbs up.
No, you tell me. Is it 1 thumbs up, which is good, or is it 2 thumbs up, which is very good?
2 thumbs up, very good.
All right.
I mean 1 thumbs up, good.
All right, Abel approved. And this is what Big Daddy and I had on salad, and here are your ingredients. Well, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next Monday for another Menu Monday. Y'all take care. Love y'all. Bye-bye.